You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All righty, I hope you're ready out there. This is James Morris calling high atop the studios of James Auto Center. We've been doing this since January 31st, 1998. We've been coming into your homes, your offices, your automobiles, your places of business, giving you information about what's happening locally with our politicians out there, or what's happening locally with your car, about how to keep them on the road and keep them from doing the things they do that drives you crazy. But right now, I've got Karen Schoen, who is running for Representative number 5, District 5, Marty Coley's timed out seat. Karen, we had a great time at the Possum Festival last weekend. What's happened since then?
Well, you are absolutely right. It was fantastic. And on Monday, there was a forum at the League of Women Voters at FSU.
Right.
And it was put on by the League of Women Voters and Channel 7, which will be televised on Monday at 6:30 on Channel 7.
All right.
And I didn't have anybody to debate. I debated myself.
Did you win? I hope you won the. I hope you won the debate.
I sure did. I gave myself high marks. I looked in the mirror and I said, "How did she do?" And it came out wonderful.
Well, I understand that the status quo has anointed Brad Drake as the person that they want to take over Marty Coley's, and they've kind of ignored everybody else and said, "We're going to go this way, or it's a highway," and they're pretty confident that they're going to win up there.
You know that. The sad part is we're not listening to the candidates, and all you're getting is a soundbite of 60 seconds in his commercial. And my favorite part is when he says, "I'm against Common Core," and I don't know if people know, but I will tell them, he signed that bill that brought Common Core to this state without reading it. It was called Race to the Top. I know this for a fact because I was in Tallahassee lobbying against it, and he voted for it, and that Race to the Top money is what brought us Common Core.
And that seems to be that we have now, I know this is a car show, and I have everybody, James, why you talk politics? Well, the thing is, politics affects the car you drive, the gasoline you burn, the oil you have in your car. Everything affects politics, and those that don't take an interest in politics, well, we find out that politicians take an interest in you because, well, you will allow them to get away with anything so long as you stay asleep and uninformed. And what you're doing, Karen, is waking people up to the fact that, well, they're mad as hell and they're not going to take it anymore, it seems like. That seems to be
exactly. And you know, you're absolutely right. And if the people would actually read to the depth of what these people are proposing, they will find that we'll be living in communities without cars because cars are not sustainable.
And that's what was, now last night at the Martin Theater, you said something was going on. The Game and Fish Commission was putting together something about sustainability in Florida. Is that what was being presented?
Well, this was even further than that. This was regarding Amendment 1, and this was the propaganda documentary, which was done beautifully. There's nothing wrong with the documentary. It shows the growth of the Everglades all the way up to Okefenokee Swamp in Georgia. But what it means when you put the words together is they want to carve out the center of the state, make it off limits to humans, because even though they say you'll have walking trails, I want to know how the people are going to walk among the bears and the panthers, which will be able to roam free.
Well, there's no panthers in Northwest Florida. If you read today's paper, which I kind of joked about, I said these are the experts that know, and I know hunters, including myself, that have witnessed it. I had a panther years ago. My daughters saw it take a deer hide off our back porch. We were pulling in our backyard, and there's this panther with a deer hide that just took off that from a deer I'd shot earlier that day. And my daughter was going, "Dad, look at that big mountain lion." I went, "No kidding, stay in the car." I said, "They don't live up here. This is a figment of your imagination, sweetheart. You don't see this." But the same thing is happening also. They tell us one thing. They want us to be, we have the status quo telling us, the Republican Democrats, they want us to have free speech and have a voice in government. But yet when we do have a voice, they seem to want to shut us up. That seems to be a common problem I'm finding out. They don't want to hear the truth, especially the mainstream media out there. How are you getting the truth out if you can't get the mainstream media to help you?
I am talking to people, individuals, one-on-one, in groups. It is wonderful to listen to the people, to listen to their concerns. And starting September 8th, which is a Monday, and every Monday thereafter, I'm going to conduct a conference call that anybody in the district can jump on, and we can talk, because it is impossible to talk to every person that lives in the district.
It is.
But that doesn't mean that we don't have concerns, problems, issues, and it doesn't mean we can't come up with solutions. So I thought the best way to do that, in addition to walking around and meeting people, would be to have an interactive conference call where everyone can get on. We can talk about our concerns, which, by the way, James, seem to be the same for everybody.
Well,
isn't that amazing?
Well, we do have common concerns, and a lot of the things that are common that we have is our education system. What's going to happen about, do we want bigger government or smaller government? We keep hearing the Republicans say, oh, we want smaller government, and then we have the Democrats say, well, we got to have bigger government to make sure all this works. But in reality, both of them are on the same pathway. One's going at 100 miles an hour towards complete socialism, and the other one's going at 75 miles an hour towards socialism, but they're both on the same track. And that's what I think you were doing differently. You're showing that we don't know what's right, what's best for you other than yourself. You know what's best for yourself, and we don't know the Republicans know always what's better for you. They tell us.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? They meet you for a second, and all of a sudden they know what you're all about and everything that they have to be able to fix and take care of for you. Isn't that really wonderful? That's not the way it works, folks.
Nope,
we need to take care of ourselves.
Well,
we don't need government to do it.
And that seems to be the biggest thing. Everybody seems to want bigger government. And, I have people with the Tea Party say, well, James, I don't believe in, we want smaller government, but yet we want to have, we got to have it where you can't marry certain people. And I'm going, well, what business is the government involved with marriage? And you said you want smaller government, but yet at the same time, you're trying to tell us how government's got to be bigger. There's a lot of inconsistency I'm finding in a lot of people out there in the way they think, Tea Party, Republican, Democrat. And that's one of the reasons I supported the Libertarian Party, and that's why Adrian Wiley will be down August 30th here in town.
That's so exciting. I hope everybody can join Adrian and come down to Uncle Ernie's on the 30th. It is so exciting to meet somebody who actually listens and has a plan. It's amazing. He has a real plan, and it will do an incredible boom for the businesses, the small businesses in Florida who have been lost to major corporations. And that's what I'm finding also, James.
Yes.
When I go around and people are saying, I can't work anymore. I spoke to a man on Thursday, and he said, I can't even afford to buy cattle. The price is so high that I know if I spend this much money on a cow, I'm never going to get the money back. So what am I supposed to do?
Return on investment. Yes.
That's right.
There's no return.
As people don't learn this in school, it then becomes very important later on in their lives, and they don't understand that when you spend money on something, you expect to get a return with extra, and the extra is called profit, and there's nothing wrong with getting profit from the things that you do individually.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with that.
If you hear people on the internet flame shops, like my shop, I have people flame, well, you want to charge me X amount of dollars, and I got it done. I say, well, what I have to charge to make a profit and what they have to charge may be two different things. There's no guarantee they're going to make a profit, but I know I'm going to make one or I'm not going to do it, because that profit is how we give money to special interest groups out there, such as crippled children or homeless vets or wounded warrior. The only way we can give give money to these people is profits. I can't give money like the government does, and they do that left and right. I mean, every time I turn around, they're printing more money and giving it away, and we're almost 18 trillion in debt. And I'm not going to blame just this president. I'm going to blame presidents past, all the way back, a long, long way back. But this is what they're doing is destroying our government insidiously by making us become broke. And pretty soon we're going to be a slave. We're going to be slaves to the people that we owe money to. Our country will be. We're going to be a debtor nation.
That's the lack of understanding when people don't get a full economic education and they don't understand the laws of finance and the laws that govern capitalism, which is supply and demand. And they also don't understand that your profit, James, comes from your knowledge and ability. You spent a lot of time learning what you learned, and you should be rewarded for that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I see yes, you're absolutely right, but some people have the socialist mentality. If the guy down the street charges $20 20 bucks, you got to charge 20 bucks or you're ripping them off. And I'm go, how do you know this guy down the street's making any money? Well, I don't know. Well, you go down there and use him. When he goes out of business, you come back and see me, you know, when your car's not fixed. And that's what we try to tell people. Just because you get a good price doesn't mean you're spending money wisely. And that's the same thing with government. Just because you get someone that promises you everything, you may actually get a lot worse back in return.
And you know, that's what I learned from that movie yesterday. When we asked the question of get involved money and finances, we did not get answers.
No, of course not.
And that's the problem. It's really wonderful to be able to say, let's build a corridor for all the animals to run free. But then when you say, and how much does that cost, and what is that going to do to the towns and communities that are going to lose that land and their revenue, and you don't get a satisfactory answer, you know immediately that this program is not going to work.
And it's almost the same thing about carbon credits. It's all about the money. Follow the money, and it really makes a big difference on that. Karen, I really appreciate you calling. People can get up with you at votekarenschoen.org. Is that right?
.com.
votekarenschoen.com. You can find more about you. Do you have a phone number they can call you if they have any questions?
Absolutely. It is 850-397-4442. Please don't be a stranger. Give me a call. I'll be happy to answer any questions to the best that I can. And if I don't know the answer, I know how to look it up.
I wonder if Brad Drake's got his cell phone number out there on the commercials. I kind of doubt that.
No, he doesn't. He does give it out. And he, you know, the only thing that I can fault him on are the things that I know personally that he's done, and I can't get past the spot that he signed on the Race to the Top bill. That one sticks with me.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, it's the Florida Sunshine Standards out there. Nothing more than Common Core. Hey, we'll be right back. Thanks, Karen. Give us a call, 850-763. Ron Hart's calling. We'll be right back.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 beep.